crazy vibes in the universe. Your brother, this is hilarious, man. On Twitter this past week, he kind of had a little, like, a lot of people were kind of shouting him out, man, and it's kind of funny. He come out and said he's a better wrestler and sports entertainer than, than Bret Hart. What's your thoughts on that?
Dude, I'm gonna tell you. So I'm literally going down the road. I come to a stoplight, which I know where I live. This one stoplight is like, it feels like it's 10 minutes long. I know it's like 3 minutes, but and I came up on it as it was turning red, and so I did what I preach to my kids never do, but I picked up my phone and looked, and I just popped up Twitter, and on one line it says trending for you. So I guess they know that I look at wrestling sites and see what wrestling fans have to say, and there was that said Road Dogg at the very top of the list. And so I just started laughing and I thought, what's he? So I literally did the talk text where you just press the microphone and start talking. And so I did the talk text while I was sitting there and said, "Hey boy, I noticed you're trending on Twitter. What did you do now?" And he sent back LOL, and he said, "I might have said that I was a better wrestler or sports entertainer than Bret Hart." And dude, in the car by myself, I couldn't help but just start laughing. I said, this dude, and Mike, people that know him know that sometimes he'll push a button just to push a button. And so I knew that's what he had done. But once I got where I was going and had a few minutes, I looked at what people were saying. They were just dragging him down the gravel road, man. It was hilarious what people were saying. And I texted him back and said, "Yeah, man, after reading all those replies, you're over." He said, "Yep, I got plenty to talk about on my next podcast." And I said, "Yeah, now you can go on there and say you're a better referee than your brother." And this was his reply: "Well, ... Scotty." I just started laughing again. I said, that boy, he ain't right.
Well,
man.
I will tell you what he is really good at, and that's commentary. I mean, many people probably wouldn't know that. I mean, I don't think he ever did commentary in WWE, but for main event wrestling on the IWN app, you can hear Road Dogg on commentary from our show, the Main Event Wrestling Birthday Bash. It's on the IWN app. It was absolutely hilarious. It was nothing but consistent running ribs.
Yeah.
There was a cameraman who ran around.
That's just it. He ain't scared. As simple as that. He is not scared. And so when he told me what he said, I knew right then he's just pushing people's buttons to see the replies. And look, do I think that he thinks he was a better in-ring performer than Bret Hart? I don't think he thinks that for a minute. I really don't. Was he a better promo guy? And when it comes to, look, sports entertainment has two sides. There are people who can grab a microphone and talk butts into seats, and there are people who can literally wrestle and put butts in seats. And Bret Hart, in my opinion, was the guy that could put butts in seats from his work, because you believed him. You believed in him. His work was unreal inside that ring. And look, my brother's work was really good too. But Bret Hart, I'm a wrestler. I'm a mat. In my head, I was always a mat wrestler, and I never did crazy stuff off the top or anything like that. And Bret was like the ultimate, man. He did all that good stuff, and I mean, kept it on the mat and kept it real. And my brother would be the first one to tell you, my stuff ain't real. I'm a show. And so, do I think my brother was a great sports entertainer? Yes, without a doubt. Do I think he was a better in-ring wrestler than Bret Hart as far as wrestling goes? No, I don't. But hey, look, Hulk Hogan, you can't take it away from him. He'd take a microphone and fill up an arena for weeks in a row and then get in the ring, and not quite the wrestler that half the crew was, but his mic skills were unbelievable, and you believed him. And so wrestling is an awesome business, man. It is. And that's why, look, I don't know if you can even say the name Vince McMahon anymore, but he was brilliant. Great people surround themselves with people that have an expertise in certain fields. And so, you find a producer that's good at doing the, like I did when I was producing, I did a bunch of those 24/7 matches, and we can talk about that here in a minute too. But and that was fun, and I enjoyed doing it, and so then they used me for that for a long time. And so there are people that can go out there and find people to promote the show. There are people that are great at the merchandising. If you're the boss, you find one person to fill all those roles instead of trying to have one person. You find, 5 people to fill those roles instead of one person to fill 5 roles.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? basically like you're being asked to do, Mike, with Main Event Wrestling.
I was sitting there like, man, I'm good at all those things.
Well, that's just it. It's, jack of all trades, but master of none. And look, big business. You got to have masters in all of the categories, not one, because with one guy, you're limited. He might be good at everything. You are good at everything, but wouldn't it be nice to have help with all these things? And then one guy go, okay, let me give the best you got. Let me get the best you got. Let me get the best you got. And let me throw all this together. And now we have the best that we can come up with. And so that's what Vince McMahon was always great at. Look, Triple H is the exact same way, working under him, literally with him and under him for years now. He taught me a lot about what we're talking about right here. And that's, you use the tools that you have and you make it great. And so anyway, I'm rambling, but that's what a podcast is, right?
We are some of the best at the rambling.
I literally go through all that to go back to my brother literally getting trending on Twitter because he was cracking. Sorry, I thought I heard somebody coming in my door for a minute. And so I think about, him doing that and so many people taking it so seriously and knowing in my heart that he's just messing with everybody. And that's what he's done it. When he was 4, I was on Little League, man. I was 12 and all my buddies were 12 and it was our last year in Little League. And he would run up and just kick them in the shin and take off running. And, you have a 4-year-old. I know my grandson is 4. And you think about being that age and just running up and kicking the crud out of a 12-year-old boy. And he was 4. They couldn't beat him up. You know what I mean? And plus all his brothers, me and Brad would be standing there and Steve, so they couldn't really do anything or they'd have got beat up. But that was my brother. You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong. So kind-hearted, when he had his run, bought our parents both brand new cars. And I mean, just a super kind-hearted human being, but he is a ribber extraordinaire, and he will rib people, and he ribs everybody.
Yeah, he does. He ribbed me.
And like I said, he ain't scared.
No, the very first time I met your brother, he ribbed me right off the bat. As soon as I walked up, you called me. You're like, "Hey, where do we come in at?" I said, "Well, let me come and bring you around to the other door because we got a bunch of random people standing by the door. Everybody else is coming in."
Right.
As soon as I walked up, he ribbed me. It was funny.
Yeah, that's him, man. That's who he is, and I love it about him. I do, man. It was a good pop sitting in the car.